I hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving. And now the next project is to create a sliding out and lifting up bench bed that will provide seating and storage. But somehow, as I complete this update, a Rolling Stone song comes to mind. You can't always get what you want, but if you try, sometimes you'll get what you need. I had already purchased the wood that I needed and did some quick calculations, and I realized that one side had a heating duct, so I would wait and do the side with few complications so I could learn before tackling the more difficult part. So, the first order of business was cutting and then laying out the 2x2s that would be the top portion of the benches. So far, so good. And now to screw the frames together and add the legs. Because I'm using 2x2 wood, I had to pre-drill every connection to prevent splitting. It was a pain, but necessary. Putting on the legs was almost a breeze when all I had to do was clamp the 17-inch legs to the frame and be aware of where I planned to pre-drill my holes. And yes, my wood is a little warped, but I decided to just roll with it. And then for added support and leveling, I put in a middle brace on the legs. And on to cutting the strips that will be the slats for the bed. Each strip will be 23 inches long and cut down to a 2-inch slat. I clamped on what would be the front pull bar to make certain that each strip was 23 inches and would cover the entire top of the bench. Then I could move on to cutting my strips. This next section has a lot of moving parts, and believe me, I learned the hard way, after spacing, to come back and mark each section that is not supposed to move, and then temporarily nail down that section. You'll thank me later. Now for the spacer bar underneath that will hold the slats in place. I got the idea of adding little thin strips underneath the pull bar from Mel's Big Van Small World YouTube channel, and it makes a world of difference to leave a little bit of space between the bar and the slats. It also helps to sand and curve the end of the moving slat so that the slats will slide easily over the back of the frame. And now, this is where that Rolling Stones song, "You can't always get what you want, but sometimes you get what you need," comes into play. I spent 2 days trying to figure out how to get the top to lift up, and finally realized that everything I wanted to store was well under 17 inches. I declared success and moved on. But the irony was, I thought I'd have trouble with the second bench and making allowance for the vent, when all I had to do was shorten the width of the leg. I tested the frame out in the van just to be sure. All that remained was for me to even out the extended slats on the back of each bench, and I would be done. Except for one last thing. I realized there was no support for the middle of the benches when they were extended. But no worries. All that required was a couple of extra legs, a board on the bottom, and in the middle for extra support. And we were off to the races to test the benches out in the van. wouldn't you know, just as Sunny Girl was finishing up her inspection, the FedEx guy arrived with our foam mattress. I guess I'm going to have to work on cushions for the next episode.